Something initiated inside you long before it announces itself as intention. A subtle but undeniable pressure accumulating beneath habit and routine, where the body begins correcting its own posture in response to a misalignment that thought has tolerated for far too long. It is not ambition that stirs first, nor optimism, nor belief in outcome, but a structural discomfort caused by remaining compressed inside a life that no longer matches the scale of your internal architecture. This sensation does not arrive as fear or excitement, but as calibration, a quiet reconfiguration of internal forces, recognizing that contraction has exceeded its design parameters and expansion is no longer optional. I know! Progress does not advance in straight lines once it encounters depth, because depth introduces curvature, load, and constraint, forcing motion to adapt rather than charge blindly forward. Every limit you meet reveals itself not as a wall, but as a contour in the terrain of becoming a boundary that exists to be mapped, understood, and navigated rather than obeyed or fought. What once felt like hesitation transforms into redirection as momentum learns to conserve itself by bending intelligently, choosing continuity over impact and precision over brute insistence. I know! Equations over brute! Equations over brute! Eventually you arrive at the point where effort intersects truth, where endurance is no longer fueled by stubbornness, but by a clear-eyed recognition of what must be carried if the structure is to remain standing under increased demand. This is where weight becomes clarifying instead of crushing, where responsibility sharpens alignment rather than dulling resolve, and where you understand that strength is not proven by avoidance of burden, but by the accuracy with which it is assumed. The system updates its internal logic accordingly. Force applied with integrity does not scatter, it stabilizes, and direction emerges not from speed, but from coherence under pressure. I know! I know! I know! I know! I know! At a certain threshold, something settles into place without spectacle, not as control imposed from above, but as authority arising from within the structure itself. Distraction loses its leverage, external approval ceases to register as a prerequisite, and doubt, once allowed to negotiate endlessly, finds no remaining interface through which to intervene. This is not rigidity, nor dominance, nor defiance. It is authorship, the capacity to inhabit your decisions fully, without fragmenting under scrutiny or retreating under resistance. Stability is achieved not through restriction, but through trust in the system's own design. As coherence increases, remnants of older configurations attempt to persist. Outdated narratives, inherited ceilings, reflexive comparisons that once served a protective function, but now generate drag. They surface briefly, intensify and exhaust themselves, unable to sustain relevance with a new operational framework. Regret completes its cycle, envy loses its metric, and the past relinquishes its authority once it is no longer required to explain the present. Signal clarity improves not by addition, but by the systematic elimination of interference. What follows acceleration is not collapse, but compression. A deliberate stillness where motion pauses, because every component is aligned and awaiting release in this suspended state. You recognize that what once felt like brokenness was in fact overbracing. A structure holding itself rigid long after the threat had passed. The realization does not dramatize itself, but quietly authorizes the removal of unnecessary reinforcement, allowing stored potential to redistribute naturally. You enter engagement without the need for performance or defense, no longer managing perception or rehearsing justification for the space you occupy. Awareness sharp as response becomes immediate rather than reinvent. The present settles into the body is a lived fact instead of a claimed identity. This is not confidence built from affirmation, but congruence established through alignment. The unmistakable stability of the system, no longer divided against itself, no longer divided attention against itself. I know! Predictive safeguards attempt to reassert themselves out of habit rather than necessity, but find no structural support within the revised architecture. Fear is reassigned as information rather than command. Discomfort is reclassified as signal rather than stop condition, and limits are audited for relevance under present conditions. What once prevented harm is thanked, released, and replaced by mechanisms capable of sustaining contact without collapse. The system remains intact under load because it is finally accurate. This is a configuration that persists when self-evacuation is no longer part of the design. Not perfected, not invulnerable, but sufficiently aligned to continue without self-erasure. Movement proceeds without seeking retroactive permission. Creation unfolds without requiring destruction as proof of legitimacy. And identity stabilizes around president's follow strategy. You are no longer provisional inside your own existence. The perimeter's locked, direction clarifies, and motion resumes without urgency or retreat. The environment does not need to be safe for alignment to hold, and you are no longer organized around endurance alone, but around trajectory sustained by truth.